Hi, welcome back to the Quiet Zone. I'm your host, Susan Patang. Before we start the video lesson on the secret questions for managing your stress, we're going to get the commercial out of the way right now. So all I have to say is if you like what you hear today and it was interesting and you thought it was useful, www.thequietzonecoaching.com. There is something for everyone and something for everyone's budget. So when we're done, go take a look. Let's start. So your secret weapon for managing stress, the power questions. Now, these are questions that you can use in the moment while you're going through a stressful situation so that you can stay calm and keep your eye on the prize, which is solving the problem. So let's get rolling. First question, how important is this really? So is this something we do have a tendency to give a lot of weight to things that are happening in the moment, especially stressful things that freak us out and they trigger emotional responses. But think about this. Is this going to matter in 5 minutes? Is this going to matter in 5 years? Is this going to affect the course of my life? And is this going to change the weather on Jupiter? And the chances are that the answer is going to be no. Now, if it is something that is important, ask yourself, is it important for me to be upset or worried about this right now? Might not be. So the second question is, what is something positive and constructive I can do about this? And we have a tendency when we're faced with a problem that is, especially when it's a surprise, instead of whining or complaining about it, let's be solution oriented, because we do have a tendency to go, oh my God, I can't stand this. Forget about that. What can we do to solve the problem? Identify the problem and how can I fix it? Okay. If it's not something that you can fix right now, because remember, we're in the moment right now. We're trying to get out of a stressful situation. If you can't think of something that can be done right now that's positive and constructive, then either let the situation go, like this isn't worth my time getting upset about. How important is it really, right? Or put it in a big pot on the back burner. Just imagine in your mind there's a stove with a pot on the back, and you can chuck it in there and we'll worry about this when we can do something about it. The third power question is, what emotions are happening here? Because a lot of times what happens is when we're caught in a stressful situation and experiencing these emotions, they are like these huge clouds that hang over our heads. And they overwhelm us. So let's shrink them down into something that's manageable by identifying them, labeling them, and then if you're a parent, you'll know what I'm talking about. Strap them in the back seat and say, look, I don't have time to deal with you right now. I'm driving. We have this situation we have to navigate through. We're right in the middle of whatever. Yes, anger, irritation, fear, whatever it is. I see you. I acknowledge you. Get in the back seat. We will deal with you later. And then do deal with it later if you have to. But that's another video. Now, next power question. What would the person I want to be do in this situation? And this can require a little pre-work. So think about that. Who do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody who is able to handle stressful situation, who is resourceful, a good problem solver, who is kind, compassionate? Define your values. Who do you want to be? You might already be that person, but that's how you should behave in the moment. What would that person do? And if you're not sure, you can ask, well, what would my hero do? The next power question is, how do you want to feel at the end of the day? Do you want to feel guilty that you didn't handle things as well as you could have? Do you want to be proud of how you were able to overcome obstacles in stressful situations? And I want to insert here that think about how proud you are of what you tried. You might not have been successful in managing the stress, especially when you're first trying, but be proud of the effort that you made and how well you tried. And the last question is, what is something positive I can take from this experience? So what lesson did you learn? What's something positive that can come out of this experience? And how can you become a better person by having experienced whatever this was? And there is always something. Um, I mean, even in the worst situations, there is always the fact that you were strong enough to get through it. If nothing else, okay? And you would be surprised how often that you will find something that you can take from a bad situation and turn it into a positive. You're going to reframe that negative into something that you can take forward with you. And I hope these power questions were helpful to you. Write them down on an index card, practice using them on things that have already happened and how your responses could have been different. And until the next time, have a wonderful, amazing day. And we'll have another video soon about what to do with those negative emotions when you get home and unstrap them out of the back seat. Until then, my name is Susan Patang. Thanks for joining me.